Okay, hi everyone. Usually I give advice, but this is a little bit of a rant, just a tiny bit. This is more of an explanation video because a lot of people harp on Disney about their inaccuracy in movies. Now, I just want to get the fairy tales out of the way. First of all, guys, they're fairy tales. It doesn't really matter, okay? It doesn't really matter if they're accurate or not. Now, moving on from that, Disney has actually only done 2 movies that were based on true stories. 1, Pocahontas. 2, Mulan. Now, I want to explain them because I know people get a little bit pissy because, oh, well, this isn't how it happened, that's not how it happened. Well, just chill out and listen to me because I'm going to explain why Disney did what they did. Now, in historical accuracy, Pocahontas was only 12 to 13 when she met John Smith. To make this movie acceptable for Pocahontas and John Smith to have a relationship together well, let me make a side note here. This is the very first Disney interracial love movie. And this was done in 1995. So, to make it more acceptable so people, like kids, would accept it more, so parents wouldn't have a problem with it, they had to up her age. And, the second movie, she's with John Roth. But this is why they did that, because they didn't want kids learning something they shouldn't be learning, or parents getting angry about something. And it is a very acceptable thing to do. I mean, would you want to see a mid to late 20-year-old guy with a 13-year-old girl? Nobody wants to see that in today's society and reality. Nobody wanted to see it back then, so they had to make her more acceptable, and I think it was a good thing because the movie tries to tell you a story in such a way that you learn a lesson. That's what Disney does, and not a lot of people get that. People don't get that. Disney tries to teach you lessons about life, and this to me is learning to accept someone that is not like yourself. And that is something that is very wrong with society and nowadays because a lot of people aren't accepting of other people. And that is a giant issue that we have nowadays. Okay, now, moving on from that, because I know a lot of people like Pocahontas, let's move on to Mulan. Now, I read this in the thing, here, let me pull it up on my Kindle, because my Kindle's so fast, so fast, just so fast. Okay, now, there were a few things. One was about the Huns, and I understand why they picked the Huns, because the Huns actually stopped doing what they were doing to China in 469 CE. I don't know what CE is, but I'm just gonna go with it. If the movie was done correctly, this Mulan was in 600 CE, and she would have faced, let's just say, someone else, because I don't want to botch the name up. But I understand why Disney chose the Huns. Because people in America actually, we know them. We've heard of them before, like Attila the Hun. We know about them. I don't know anything about who Mulan faced. I just know Mulan from the movie. And, I knew she was real. So I think the reason why Disney chose the Huns is because it's more relatable to a historical fact that Americans know. I mean, not a lot of Americans know about Chinese history. Not to be rude or anything, because I'm pretty sure there are some people out there who are really interested in Chinese history. But growing up when I didn't know a lot about China. In fact, I didn't know a lot about a lot of countries, which is kind of a problem in America. I mean, we teach only history to a base extent, which is American history, at least where I went to school. I mean, I had history and I had a textbook, but it didn't really teach me anything about other countries. Like, I don't want to learn just the history of another country. I want to know everything about that country, like the language they speak and everything. So I think Disney did a good thing by sticking with the Huns, because it's something that we know. Now, another thing is that they didn't know until months later and were shocked to discover that Mulan was a woman. So they didn't just leave her there when they found out. They found out much later. So she was there. She fought with them the entire time that there was fighting, and then she went home and they went to find her, and that's when they found out that she was a woman. So they didn't find out, like, it's not a bad thing. It makes for more whatever I'm trying to go with here. I can't think it. I was up too early. So yeah. That's all I really wanted to talk about. Just to inform you guys. I mean, if you already knew that, that's great. That is perfectly fine. That is great. This video is getting to be too long, so I'm going to end it here, and I hope I gave you some information and helped you learn something today. Alright, I will see you next week, hopefully. Alright,